How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and that's take a complete look at my Wes Craven collection. I've done this for John Carpenter, I've done this for Rob Zombie, and it's really fun to take a look at everything a director ever did. It's really cool to see that, but a few disclaimers before we get in. One, there's a lot of stuff here, so this is going to have to be a two-part video, so I'll do quick and mini reviews for each, no major spoilers during those reviews, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have an understanding of each movie. Two, this is a Blu-ray DVD collection, not dual formats on all of them, so some of them are on DVD, some of them are on Blu-ray. And then the other thing is I can only do the movies that were actually officially released on DVD and Blu-ray, and Wes Craven actually has two films that were never released on those formats. The first one being The Fireworks Woman, an adult film he made under the pen name Abe Snake in order to get funding for The Hills Have Eyes. And then the other one is his fourth and final made-for-TV movie, Night Visions, which is very strange. A movie like Night Visions, made by Wes Craven, never got a Blu-ray or DVD release, just a VHS one. And hey, if there's anyone here from, say, Scream Factory, I would love a double feature of Night Visions with a cleaned-up version of Chiller. That would be great. And of course, for Fireworks Woman, we're kind of looking for Vinegar Syndrome to maybe do that one. I could see them doing that. Anyway, without further ado, let's just dive right in to the first one, the drive-in cult classic, The Last House on the Left. Keywords you're looking for this one are deep and dark. This movie is about these two girls. They are going to go to a concert, and in the woods behind their house, they run into some escaped criminals, and they have their way with them with some pretty graphic torture, and it is not for the faint of heart. They, of course, after that, the criminals seek shelter at the nearest house, which is actually going to be the house that is owned by the parents of one of the girls. So if they find out what these criminals did, it's going to push these nice people to some extremes. This is really about how bad things can go from, like, say, the criminals, how bad they can be, but also how bad normal people can be when pushed. And you look on the back here, Sean S. Cunningham, that's someone who would be known for Friday the 13th later on. Open it up, it's just a shiny disc with the widescreen or full screen formats. But yeah, Wes Craven himself said that this isn't a movie he just pops on, willy-nilly. This is a contemplation of the darker aspects of human nature. It's not meant to be a popcorn movie. It's very, very hard to watch, and I've only watched it all the way through once, and I'm going to rewatch it to do a review of it sometime. But yeah, it's pretty dark, and I'm not too eager to pop it in. But I'll do individual reviews on all these eventually. Moving along, Last House on the Left did get a remake, and I only have the disc only of the remake because this movie, they tried to do a all audiences popcorn flick remake. It's something that should have been a deep and dark movie, and they tried to make it a movie for everyone, and that's not what Last House on the Left is about. And they toned down, especially with the deaths and stuff, like who dies. That got way, way lighter and easier to manage, and it's just a watered-down version of the original, and it's taking something that shouldn't be for all audiences and trying to turn it into an all-audiences popcorn movie. I really don't like it, but since I have disc only, I do have my own drawing as the cover there, and this is Zach from a few years ago doing a drawing in Sharpie, so you get her reaching up towards the house, and then the title there, and then the back is just a copied summary that I found of the movie somewhere over a inversed silhouette. And Last House on the Left was often a double feature in the drive-in circuit with Don't Look in the Basement, so I also have these two movies here. Wes Craven didn't really have anything to do with these, but it was a double feature with Last House on the Left, so I try to keep them together. And because they were a double feature, Don't Look in the Basement actually was able to use Last House on the Left's famous tagline in its trailers to avoid screaming, repeat to yourself, "It's only a movie, it's only a movie, it's only a movie." Anyway, up next would be Fireworks Woman, but like I said, that's not out on DVD. And then after that is The Hills Have Eyes, one of my favorite Wes Cravens. There's a family, an innocent family, in an RV down there, and the RV gets damaged and they can't drive it anymore, and they're in the hills, the desert with these big rocks all around them, and you get a family of inbred killers. There's Pluto there, and they're all named after planets, and they start to hunt them, and the hills have eyes because all around them you don't know where these killers are going to come from, and this is a drive-in style movie, and you don't know who's going to be safe or not. Really, really cool, and I really do love this movie. One of my favorite Wes Cravens. It's really, really fun there, and yeah, Pluto, a classic horror movie villain, and just a great setting, isolation and making traps and stuff. Really, really fun. I'll cover this more in a minute, but you do have Hills Have Eyes Part 2, and you would get a remake to Hills Have Eyes. This is the Walmart abstract portraiture cover. And then the remake to Hills Have Eyes did get a sequel, which I apparently bought on clearance for $2. So yeah, a nice little series there, and I need to get to individual reviews for this whole series. But anyway, moving right along, we have the first Wes Craven made-for-TV movie, Linda Blair, who you may know from The Exorcist, in Wes Craven's Summer of Fear. Flip it to the back, and it talks about how Linda Blair has a cousin, Julia, who comes over, and things start going badly, and Linda Blair suspects that it's Julia, and Julia might not be all that she seems, but of course no one else remembers. So it's one of those movies where one character knows who the villain is and is trying to convince everybody else, but no one else wants to listen to them. I remember it being kind of fun, but this is made for TV, so made for TV movies are never quite as good as, regular movies, but you can see Wes Craven trying his best with what he had, and it's always cool to see Linda Blair in a movie too, so that's pretty fun. Not the best, but it's okay enough. And the first of the 4 made for TV movies. Up next, you have kind of an underrated movie, Deadly Blessing. This was getting super hard to find until Scream Factory put out this new Blu-ray for it, so thank you, Scream Factory. But you get this woman whose husband used to be in a cult. He escaped the cult and then died in a mysterious, tragic accident, and the cult members know something up, and there's a killer on the loose there that's going to come after the wife and her friends. Flip it to the back, you get a few more pictures. And we open this up, and you can see the disc. It has a reversible cover with the disc image on it. That is the original poster for this movie of the woman sleeping with the hands coming out for her. So, doesn't get talked about too often, but still a pretty good movie. And hey, there's Pluto from The Hills Have Eyes in another one of Wes Craven's movies. After that, you get Swamp Thing. So I don't know what DC does, but Wes Craven doing Swamp Thing, and then later on in the future you get James Wan doing Aquaman and David F. Sandberg doing Shazam. I guess they like to hand classic horror movie directors their superhero movies. In this one, you get Dr. Alec Holland, and they think he died in a mysterious accident that's really bad guys coming after him, but he didn't die because of his chemical. Instead of killing him, it turned him into a big monster, the Swamp Thing. And you get this woman that he was in love with, Adrienne Barbeau there, who you know from The Fog and a ton of other things. But I have this special motion linchal cover. You can see him rising out of the swamp with Adrienne Barbeau. And fun fact, there was an international cut of this movie with a little bit more scenes in it that they accidentally put out on DVD for a bit. I think it has the gray cover. And if you ever see that, that actually goes for quite a bit of money. So yeah, keep an eye out for the international cut. But a pretty fun movie, kind of cheesy, and you know, it is a guy in a rubber suit, but it is really fun, and Swamp Thing is one of my favorite DC superheroes, and to see Wes Craven adapting it was great, but it is kind of a cheesy man in a rubber suit movie. Wes Craven didn't have anything to do with it, but there was a sequel, The Return of Swamp Thing, that I have here on this Blu-ray. And then, moving swiftly along, we get Wes Craven's second made-for-TV movie, Invitation to Hell, which is a step up from the first one. You get this young family. They move into a new house, and everyone in the family and everyone in the neighborhood, as well as where he works, seems to be involved with this country club. And the family doesn't really know what's up with it, and they're trying to get them to join, but there's some mysterious and evil magical force behind it. So, pretty fun. Still a cheesy made-for-TV movie, but definitely a step up from Summer of Fear. And I really did like this, and it's pretty cool. And the company, Artisan, that put this out, they also put out Summer of Fear, so you get the first two Wes Craven made-for-TV movies with matching cases there. So that is pretty fun, both the half-woman, half-skull faces. So I do love that Artisan gave them matching cases. That's pretty cool. Up next, the movie that Wes Craven is most known for, and that is A Nightmare on Elm Street. And this is definitely a movie I need to upgrade to Blu-ray, but I only have these, 4 packs. This is the most efficient way to collect the series, other than the 8-pack. But flip it to the back, you can see details on all the movies. Basically, you get Nancy there, and she and her friends are seeing this mysterious figure of a burnt-up man in their dreams, and they don't know why, but the friends start dying, and they find out if Freddy Krueger kills you in your dreams, he kills you in real life. So, a pretty fun, classic, surrealist slasher. This is the first of 2 times that Wes Craven would save the slasher genre. By creating Freddy Krueger, he started a boom of supernatural slashers, which added a ton of spice to slasher movies, and you got to see a bunch of new ideas, making ways for more Hellraiser movies and Chucky movies and stuff, and it's all because of Nightmare on Elm Street here. Great fun movie, great final girl, great surrealist imagery, and Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger is a great, one of the best slasher characters of all time. The DVDs are 2 flipper disc, 1 movie on each side. Thank goodness they didn't try to cram 2 movies on each side. But there's the first 4. The second 4 here, which also includes Wes Craven's New Nightmare and Freddy vs. Jason, which means that the mainline Nightmare on Elm Street series only got 6 movies. But then you get the spin-off, which we'll talk about more later, and Freddy vs. Jason there as well. You also get this bonus feature disc from a previous set that I found by itself. The ring is kind of messed up here, but there's the bonus features from this box set. Can I shut that again? There we go. And then lastly, in Nightmare on Elm Street, you have the remake without Robert Englund, and it wasn't near as good. But I'll get more into that later when I do individual reviews for that. But anyway, wow, the castle is really starting to fill up. This is the first part. We're about 60% of the way through Wes Craven, and it's been really fun so far. Hills Have Eyes is great. I love Swamp Thing, Deadly Blessing. There's lots of cool stuff in here, and lots of stuff that did, Hills Have Eyes, Nightmare on Elm Street, had a series. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll be back again very, very soon to take a look at the rest of Wes Craven's movies in part 2. Until then, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. If you want to see more, there'll be more there. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom.